A lot of people live their lives desperate and they don't even realize, because they're like a fish in water, they don't even realize that there's another way to do this. And when I say desperate, I mean you're in survival mode. You're doing shit that you would not do otherwise because you need to, right? You're selling your shit cheap to pay your rent. You're doing mad shit to get money so you can pay for your bad habits. And it's just not looking good, basically. The thing with being desperate is that it doesn't matter how much or what you think or how clever you are, you're taking actions that you wouldn't otherwise because you need to. I know a number of people who specifically look for this type of person to take advantage of them because they're easily controlled. If you know someone needs money, you can make him do some mad shit to get that money. And the idea of this is to set yourself up so that you are not that person who's being taken advantage of. Not only do you operate in a more short-term survival type of mindset, but you also operate at the expense of your future self. So you do what's best in the moment and you don't care about long-term repercussions. I've shared this one before. 3 guys went and stole a car. They sold it for £1,000 and then all of them spent the money on drugs. And he said that they got in the most ridiculous chase you've ever seen. Like, it was literally like something out of a movie. They all nearly fucking could have died, could have ended up in jail. They got £1,000. And I said, you realize that's 2 days of work? Like £1,000 split 3 ways. So £333, right? For going and stealing a car, doing some mad shit, getting in a chase, risking their freedom for what? To get on it tonight? To get some drugs tonight? No one would do that if they had a better option. And there was a good example I heard yesterday. Some warehouse job, I think it's called DX Warehouse, and it's like a 0 hours contract. So you have to get there 4 or 5 hours before the shift starts, or someone else can take your shifts. Whoever's hungriest is getting them shifts. They're using game theory to make people turn up to the shifts because you're scared that someone else is going to get it, so you get there earlier, and then it cascades like that. You're doing a shit job for shit money, but you're also being made to jump through hoops. And no one who has a better option would ever even consider that. I've been thinking about this a lot recently because there are a couple of things which I have very strong boundaries about. One is being on top of money, and another one is being sober. Because if those things are unorganized, your whole life can just fall apart. It can go from bad to worse. And this happens to a lot of people. If you need money, you got to get out payday loan, or you got a bad drug habit, you got to do short-sighted things like those guys that stole a car. It's just not looking good. And the thing is, no one is sorting out those kind of things for you. All right? No one is making your life less desperate. It comes back to the point that it doesn't matter how much or how clever you are. If you've got bad habits that worsen your situation, that create desperation, make you act in a desperate, short-term, short-sighted, at the expense of long-term kind of way, nothing else matters. The things which apply to my life, the 2 most important things to not create a desperate situation: having savings, so I didn't have to fucking sell all my shit all the time to just cover basic bills and not be scared when it was time to pay the rent. And then also not doing drugs so that I didn't find myself in a bad financial situation all the time because I had a bad expensive habit. So many things are easier said than done. Like, I know people who are in these situations and they can even know that it's not right. And they can say, yeah, but it's easy to talk about it, but it's harder to do. And it is harder to do. Like, these things are harder in practice. And it's easy for me to sit here and be like, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. But it's not really like that. It's more the point that when you're desperate, you think different. Because of how destructive desperation can be to your life, to the people you know, the people you care about, that you should do everything within your power to learn how to not get there. And everything in your power to reverse things if you're heading there, and what to change. And all the information about budgeting is on the internet. I don't know particularly that many people who have really resolved bad drug habits. So I couldn't really say. I know that I struggled with it for a long time and I had to fuck about. But it was really like when my life wasn't so bad that I didn't really have a need to do it. I wasn't trying to escape from something because my life wasn't so shit. You might have a few windows in your life to get to that point. It's not, okay, today I'm going to just change everything. You got to catch one up and then catch another up. And then you're like, okay, I can actually get ahead of this situation and sort something out here. So I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that I know best. But I do know that people who are desperate do shit that they shouldn't be doing. And they do it because they don't have a better choice. And people who do have better choices created the better choice. They created the situation where they weren't desperate, right? They made sure that nothing got in their way that made them desperate again. And this is really the point, is do everything that you can to not be desperate, because it's got infinite destructive capacity to just ruin your life.